Namaste, Dzień dobry, Assalamu alaikum, ciao, bonjour, hola. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Ken at 10. How are you? I hope you're well. As usual, coming to you live, slightly late, just a couple of minutes late. There's always a little something in our office live at about 10 o'clock, just before I'm about to go live. And a bit of a keys panic where a tenant had arranged to meet a contractor. If they didn't turn up, then there was going to be a cost and so on and so forth. But we managed to sort it all out. Hope you're well today. Seeing a lot of houses for valuation and doing a bit of land negotiation today, which is always quite nice. So sometimes people approach us with land, with planning, and then they need to buy land from other people to make that site bigger, that kind of thing. So we're in a bit of a land negotiation thing today, which is always fun and a little bit different. And funny enough, I've got a Homes Under the Hammer next week in Streatham, and that's for a plot of land. So that should make an interesting one. That's in De Montfort Road. So looking forward to doing that for a little bit of a different one. Valuation wise, quite a busy day today, not so busy tomorrow. So if you do require a valuation, we may be able to fit you in later on today or tomorrow. As far as the market's concerned, generally, it's a little bit quieter, but we'd expect that. We are coming up to August now. It's peak holiday time. The children are off. Families are off enjoying themselves. Unless they're in Rhodes or Corfu, parts of those are a nightmare. I was just looking, there's some cheap holidays out there. You think, really? People are still going out there? But 90% of the place is actually unaffected. So you could find yourself a good bargain holiday out there if you're prepared to do it. But it is very sad in all seriousness. And it did make me think, looking at all those fires, you sort of think about other things like fires in terms of, what's going on in your life, such as your mortgage, going higher, what you can do about it. Can you put the fire out? How can you put the fire out? What can you do? And if there are things you can do, things you can impact on when there's difficult times, then you should do that. That sort of things I'm talking about are seeing if you can extend your loan, seeing if you can fix your rate at a lower price than you've currently got it by switching lenders. If you're within 6 months, the end of your fix, some lenders will then talk to you about their new rates and you can possibly switch from your existing rate to a new rate without any interruption. So there's not financial advice, of course, but we have financial advisors that will help you on this. But it did make me think, when you look at something and you think, there's a fire in my life, might be, the fire in Corfu, for instance, or Rhodes, and very, very sad, but you have to ask yourself, how can I impact on it? Now, the way you might impact on that might be that you're prepared to give a little bit of money to the charity that's providing for the people that have lost their homes and livelihoods, which is great. And that's something you can do to impact it. But what you can't do is physically get up and put the fire out. So you have to say to yourself, that's something that's out of my reach. And it's pretty much the same with interest rates. A lot of us feel powerless to do anything about it. And that's understandable. My advice to you is do what you can. Don't worry about what you can't. If interest rates are going to go up, then that's a problem. But all you can do is what you can do, no more. Because in the end, it's about inflation numbers and they're out of your control. So advice would be speak to a financial advisor if you're not sure what to do. I do notice that the ministers now in the Daily Telegraph has an article today saying that long-term fixed mortgages are being considered to protect borrowers. This is common in other countries such as the Netherlands and Denmark, where they have very, very long fixes. So interest rate fluctuations don't affect borrowers. In the UK, we have this situation where most of us are on short fixes, variable rates or trackers, which means that we have that volatility. And right now that's affecting people severely. And it really is quite difficult out there for a lot of people. However, some people are still moving. As I said, death, debt and divorce, God forbid, are one of the three of the reasons, the main drivers behind moves right now. But if you do own your property and you own it outright particularly, or you have a low mortgage on it, there's no reason why you shouldn't move now. Certainly what we're finding is what's underpinning prices is the lack of supply of new properties coming to market, is meaning that when something's good and comes to market, indeed, it does get interest. So, the market's not completely dead, although it is quieter. So don't expect the droves that you might have got a year ago if you're marketing, but by the same token, you may well find that you do find a buyer at a fairly efficient pace and within a reasonable time frame. The question then is whether you can find what you want to move to. That's another question entirely, and a topic perhaps for another day here on the Property Buyer and Sellers podcast. Actually, is probably the best place to find that sort of information. If you haven't checked it out, then do check it out. Just look up Ken Hume or the Property Buyer and Sellers podcast on your favorite provider. We do a lot there about what you can do in terms of selling, renting, buying, auctions. They're all covered there in much more detail, so it's worth having a look there. Apart from that, hope you have a great day. Here in Norbury, the weather is kind of overcast, a little bit dull and grey. Welcome to the British summertime. Hope you have a great day, guys. Look after yourselves if you can, your family and friends. We're back same time, same place tomorrow. Until then, ciao.